So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're starting your bodywork process is to get everything tore off the vehicle wherever you're working at. If you're not doing an all over paint job, let's just say you're doing this quarter panel on this door, you're going to want to take the belt moldings off of this door, tear the door handle down, get all the plastics off your quarter panel, and take your tail lights off. With this being my daily driver, I'm kind of limited as to what I can and can't take off. So what I couldn't take off, I went ahead and taped up just to prevent any kind of sand scratches or Bondo getting on it, etc. But once you get everything tore down, what you're going to want to do is just find all the dents in the quarter panel or whatever you're working on, and go ahead and grind just them spots down with, I'm using 36 grit on a grinder, but you can also do it with 80 grit on a DA or whatever you feel comfortable with. Just be cautious whenever you're using something like a grinder, because you will get the metal too hot and it'll stretch, and it's going to cause a lot more work than is necessary. So if you have multiple dents like I do on this quarter panel, I would probably grind for maybe 10 seconds right here and then go to another dent and grind for 10 seconds. Just to make sure that I'm keeping that quarter panel cool and I'm not warping the metal. But after that, that's whenever we can start stud welding, getting our studs on there and pulling the dents out. Once we get the dents pulled out, then that's whenever we can start our Bondo work. But the key to body work is you want to make sure that you have the panel and the metal as straight as you possibly can get it before you ever even try to wipe Bondo on it. Otherwise, you're going to have a pound of Bondo in it and it's not going to be worth the crap. Usually you can use dikes to take these little studs off, but these things are trash and I left mine at the house. So now we're using a cutoff wheel, and basically when you do that, that's what it looks like after you cut it off. And then you use the grinder to basically get it back smooth again. So then you should be golden. The metal's pretty straight now, so next up is we're going to use a hammer and dolly to get the metal the rest of the way straight, and you should be hearing a sound something like this. So you would think that there would be a little bit more access from the inside of the trunk to get to the quarter panel, but there's not. There's actually a second layer of steel that goes in between the quarter panel and the inside of the trunk. So I've got the metal pretty much as straight as I can. Basically the next step is to 80 grit wherever I'm going to be applying Bondo, which is basically from this body line down. There really isn't any dents up here, so I won't worry about it. So once I get all this 80 gritted, then it's time for Bondo. And yeah, hopefully we can make this thing turn out halfway decent. So make sure that you tape off anything that you don't want Bondo to get on, or anything that you don't want scratched up. Whenever you're wiping your body fillers, sometimes it'll get off into your door jambs, and unless you're painting your door jambs, you don't want to get Bondo in there or have scratches in there with a fresh paint job. So just try to keep that in mind. And then to mix it, instead of putting your whole spreader in there, just use the corner of your spreader, like so, until it's a nice uniform blue color, and you don't have like random spots of hardener. It's all mixed up good, you know what I'm saying? This might take a minute, so get you a little corner of it. Don't try to go directly in the damn center of it, because it ain't gonna work correctly. And then just start getting it on there. Bang, bang, bang. And then eventually, we'll have a Bondo quarter panel. You like the process, Danny?
Love it.
Oh, man, bro. Just put it everywhere, bro. Wherever your heart desires that you want to put this Bondo, just get it on in there. Then we can worry about making it look pretty once we actually get it somewhat on there. And we ran out of Bondo. Now that we got it all on there,
You make it look pretty.
now we can make it all look pretty. Come over here, get you some, you know what I'm saying? Gotta get it how you fit in. And that right there is the reason why we use tape. So the first layer of Bondo that I did, I just knocked it all down with a DA with 80 grit on it. Basically you just want to keep your DA as flat as possible. If you see any kind of metal showing through like that, those are hot spots, so all you're gonna do is just lightly tap them down with a hammer. So I've got my second layer of Bondo applied, and basically what I'm gonna do is take my DA with some 80 grit and knock down all these lines that got put in here whenever I actually applied the Bondo. And then I'm gonna knock down all my edges down through here. Anything that's an edge where the Bondo stops, I'm gonna knock all that down with the DA. And then I'm gonna get probably like a 12-inch block and blocking an X pattern with 80 grit. So basically what I mean by X pattern is you wanna create one side of the X going across the quarter panel like this, and then you wanna create the other side of the X going across the quarter panel this way. And this just ensures that everything's gonna be nice and true, and it should be pretty straight, but it is a drift car, so I'm not really too much concerned with it being perfect, but I do want it to look nice. As you guys can tell, we got a little bit of Bondo on the tire right here. If you try to get this off while the Bondo is still wet, it'll like just smear. So wait until it hardens up and then it literally just comes right off, versus smearing it all over your tire or whatever you get it on. And for all my edges, I just take a razor blade and just kind of go along the edges to get all that stuff off. As you can tell, I already did it a little bit right here, and it usually works pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Just so we got everything wrapped up with the quarter panel for today. Basically that's the first coat of the metal glaze that we're gonna put on. We got everything cleaned up inside the door jamb. As you can tell, the tape helped out a lot. But now all we're gonna do is put this little bag on, because we don't want any moisture getting inside the Bondo. If it does, it'll eventually crack, and I'm not trying to redo this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna get this thing bagged up, and then I'm gonna drive this thing home, come in the morning, hopefully get an early start on it, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I've got the passenger side quarter panel roughed in. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it in the primer tonight. Tonight is Tuesday. I've been working on this for about 2 days now. Tomorrow I'm gonna get the dents pulled out of this quarter panel, and hopefully by like Thursday night I should have this quarter panel in the primer. And then Friday I'm gonna get both quarter panels reblocked, find all my high and low spots. And once again, I'm not trying to make it flawless because it is a drift car, but I do want it to look halfway decent. But if I can get all that done by this weekend, Saturday, I will be putting on my new doors. And if I can get all that done, it should be an overall pretty productive week. Tips for spraying primer. You want to make sure that you're putting at least 3 to 4 good coats on there, and you want to make sure that they flash off in between each coat. What that means is that the primer no longer has a shine. When you first apply your primer, it's going to have a shine to it. After about 10-15 minutes, that shine's going to go away, and that tells you that you can put your next coat on. But other than that, I'm going to get the primer because I still have like 30-40 wheels that I got to paint, and it's like 9 o'clock. I'm not trying to be here till midnight. So when you're priming something, like I have this quarter panel taped up, basically I have it back taped on a body line. Even though it's back taped on a body line and you usually wouldn't see the hard line if one was created, you still don't want to carry your primer all the way up to the tape line because it will create a hard line and it'll be a lot more difficult to prep and take you a lot more time. So just keep that in mind whenever you're priming something, and it'll make everybody happy. If you're working in a body shop, it'll make your preppers happy, or just you if you're doing this on the side. I think I'm gonna wrap up the video there. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns as to what was covered in this video that I didn't cover, or if you guys want to learn how to do back taping for a primer or a base clear, hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys want to see. Other than that, Saturday, like I say, I'm putting on the passenger doors, and sometime this week I should be getting this quarter panel worked in. Other than that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video.